guys, LaKisa and Tammy from Tales from the Media, and we are here live at the New Jersey HorrorCon with the iconic, legendary, award-winning makeup artist, Neill, who's my favorite person in the world, and I'm so excited right now. How are you doing, V?
I'm doing great, thank you.
It's such an honor to meet you.
Well, thank you very much. That's awesome.
So I have to say once again, you are my inspiration for being a makeup artist. You are. And you are wonderful, iconic, and your work is flawless.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Welcome. All right. So first question, how did you get involved with makeup? Like, what was your inspiration? What made you want to get into that field?
Universal monster movies. And that's kind of where it started. I mean, those old black and white movies just made me want to be a makeup artist. I thought the coolest thing ever would be able to transform people, turn them into something else. So that was my inspiration.
So were you self-taught or did you go to school for it?
Well, I'm so old that they didn't have any schools when I started.
Wow.
So, we had a couple of, like Richard Corson makeup book, but really there was no schools to be, for teaching. So basically we were also self-taught. The people that started like in the early 70s, a lot of the makeup artists that are around right now, like, we would call up Rick Baker and I would call up Dick Smith and we'd ask Dick, questions on how to do this and how to do that. That's kind of how you learned how to do stuff, helped each other and figured it out, It's kind of like cooking. If you know what it tastes like, you should be able to figure out how to cook it. You get the ingredients and start there.
I have to say, y'all did an amazing job for no training, like officially, because your work is flawless.
Well, what you do is you just watch all the movies repeatedly until you figure it out. You watch all these old movies and you say, okay, well, how did they do that? What do I need to do that? You just figure it out,
Right. So I know you worked on so many films. What was your first project that you did makeup for?
Ooh, gosh. Well, let's see. I used to work for Charlie Band, who was kind of like the Roger Corman, the same era. And so Charlie Band, I did I don't think Charlie did Tourist Trapped. He might have, but I did like Tourist Trap, Laser Blast, and The Daytime Ended, and all these like really hokey kind of sci-fi movies. And then I got in the union, and my first big job was Star Trek: The Motion Picture with Fred Phillips, who was my mentor.
That's amazing. Star Trek?
Yeah, the first Star Trek film.
Wow. Well, I have to say, one of my favorite films that you did is Edward Scissorhands. Oh my gosh. So let's talk a little bit about that and the process of how you came up with the concept for the makeup and how was it working with Johnny?
Well, first of all, the concept for the makeup was designed by Tim Burton because he does like drawings of all of his characters. And when I came into it, they'd already done mock-up heads of Johnny over at Stan Winston Studios. So basically my job was to actually put it on a human being and bring it to life and, pick the colors that were going to be used to create the character. So that was kind of where I came into it. I brought it to life, but the colors were basically chosen by Tim Burton because that's sort of his aesthetic,
So is that usually how you come up with your ideas? They kind of...
it really depends on the film, how it comes about, who the director is, where things happen. Every film is different, Like Tim Burton, I did Beetlejuice for Tim, but he didn't come up with that design I did because he just didn't really know where to go with the guy. He kind of looked like a derelict when he gave me the drawing, and I just said, after I did the test makeup with him looking like a derelict, he said, oh no, we don't want to look at that for a whole movie. And I went, okay, well, I finally just came down to, let me take him back to the trailer and do what I want to do to him, and that's how we came up with Beetlejuice. So, every movie is a little bit different. All the directors work differently. Unless there's a creature that is created, a long time ahead of time, and a actual makeup studio is involved in the creation of the characters and building the character, then, I would come in and just bring the character to life, choose the colors that would work on the character, choose, different the methods of application, etc. So a lot of times, you're just kind of like a part of the process, you're part of the engine,
Speaking of Beetlejuice, I was Beetlejuice for Halloween like 2 years ago. I'm going to show you that picture and you can tell me if I did a good job, But are you working on the new Beetlejuice at all?
No, because they're shooting that in England, because that's where Tim Burton lives now. So he shoots everything over there. It's much cheaper to work over there. So I know they're coming here to New England to do some exterior stuff, but no, for the most part, the film will be done over there.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so out of all the jobs you've done, what was your most favorite and your most challenging makeup to complete?
God, I've had a lot of favorite makeup, so I don't know. Challenging can be anything. It could be like bad weather conditions. It could be anything. Like challenging was Pirates, to keep all those guys together when it was so wet and hot and sticky, and they were wearing a lot of clothes and sweating to death. Making sure I got Robin Williams makeup on in the same spot every day so he didn't blow it out with sweat. Just different things, different jobs have different challenges. I don't know that one is more challenging than the next. It's just a little different, and some of them you're just having fun with all the time.
And with them, you're doing the makeup and then taking it off too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have to take it off too, yeah. And if there's shows where you're working extremely long hours, a lot of times they'll have a cleanup crew come in at the end of the day and clean the actors up so you can go home and get off the clock because you have to be back so early the next morning. But that didn't happen too often with me.
All right. So another one of my favorite projects from you was Face Off. Like, I was addicted to that show. I ain't miss an episode. So talk about the process of that. How did you get involved for that show?
Well, I think initially I was asked to come in. I just did a couple of auditions, and I know they wanted a makeup artist, and I'm not sure exactly how they were seeing how the show was going to pan out, but I introduced him to Glenn Hetrick. I said he'd be great because he's kind of a colorful character, and he has a makeup studio. He has a lab where he builds stuff. So he would be the builder, and I was the makeup artist. At the beginning, we had Patrick Tatopoulos, who is a designer. So he was a creature designer. And then eventually we had Neville Page. So it was kind of great because they had a designer, a makeup artist, and a builder,
I love that show. I think they should really bring that back again. It's missing.
I absolutely agree. And and also I think they wanted a woman, and they needed a woman that had a lot of credentials, which I did have. So that was probably why I got the job.
All right. So last question. What is Miss V working on right now? What can we see from you coming up with your makeup work?
Miss V is retired, and I opened a makeup school.
Where?
Legends Makeup Academy.
Wait, location?
North Hollywood, California.
You might gonna see me there, Miss V. I'm serious.
Right there, that little, yeah, give me that. So there is Legends Makeup Academy. There's some little ad for it right there.
Oh yeah. So y'all know I've been wanting to work with this lady forever. So maybe this is the sign. Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you. Carry on, babe.
Welcome.
Adorable.